Hey y'all, welcome back. This is what I'm hoping is the last installment of Gypsy's interrogation. And it's really interesting because it is January 13th as of the time of recording, and Gypsy was released a couple of weeks ago. I would love to know what y'all think about her media appearances so far and the stuff that she is posting on social media and stuff like that. Um, I've seen a lot of takes of it where it's like, on the one hand, people are really rallying behind her, supporting her, so glad that she's finally getting, for the first time in her life, really a true taste of freedom. And on the other hand, a lot of people are saying like there's something very cringe about these both media appearances and some of the stuff that's happening on social media. Like, people are commenting on how her husband bears a strong resemblance to her deceased mother. And I've seen side by side photos. I don't think I would have naturally drawn the correlation, but when you see it side by side, I think he does bear a striking resemblance somewhat. And then there was this whole exchange that just felt like very try hard about don't listen to the haters, baby. I love that D. And I'm just like, you kind of have to remember she's brilliant. She's a very, very smart girl. I say girl, but she's a few years younger than me. But you have to factor in when it comes to her emotional age or awareness, there is a part of her, probably despite having a lot of help and rehabilitation and stuff like that, hopefully in prison. It sounds like she's gotten a lot of therapy. That is bound to be a bit regressed, right? Like there's that is unavoidable based on her circumstances, being institutionalized in one way or another for 99.9% of her life so far. Anyway, love to know what y'all think about that. Let me take these captions off. Okay, so the last we picked up, the detective had just left the room and Gypsy had this emotional release. She's already confessed at this point, or confessed that her then boyfriend, Nick Godejean, did it, and that she had no hand in it whatsoever in the physical act of it. Also very random, and I don't know if anybody cares, but if y'all are as obsessed with like lip oil and stuff like that as I am, I just purchased, and not sponsored by the way, I wish it was, but this NYX, it's so ridiculous, like fat oil slick click blah blah blah. Anyway, I am addicted to this stuff because of the way it feels on my lips. It's like got this like beautiful kind of cushy slip, and I really like their fat oils, in the little like chunky containers. But the fat oil is slightly stickier, and this is like, I don't know, more of like a balmy kind of feel. Anyway, and it's beautiful, and I find myself like reapplying it, I don't know, way too many times a day. Can somebody be addicted to lip balm? That's major. So beautiful. Anyway, in case anybody cares about stuff like that, here we go. comment on that. Y'all, this is like straight up torture. Like, imagine being in a windowless room like this, and you've just gone through, even if you were the one who plotted it and you wanted your freedom and you wanted to be with your boyfriend and all of that, it's still traumatic, the event that happened. And it's clear in statements that Gypsy makes today that she's not proud of what she did. She wishes she would have acted differently. So, and I feel like just now we were watching her go through all kinds of emotions. It's like she would let herself feel the grief for a bit and then would kind of go back into freeze. And I think those moments were her contemplating, like trying to quickly calculate, like, am I going to prison for this? How long am I going to go to prison? Like, are the people outside, my people outside, going to come and see me? Or are they going to write me off forever? Like, is this going to play on national news? Like, I mean, I can't imagine the thousands of thoughts racing through her head. And then did y'all see her check her bruise? The reason I don't think that was performative, like for the camera in the room and playing up like, oh, I was forced and he hurt me and he's so overbearing and I couldn't possibly like practice my will, assert my will with him. The reason I don't think it was that is that it was so kind of quick and candid, and she didn't make a meal of it. An acting teacher of mine used to describe stuff like that. Like, he would give an actor a direction to go do something, like, hey, on this line, why don't you try crossing the room and picking up the so-and-so? And if someone like, was kind of clumsy with it or was like a really big ham, they'd like, make a big show out of crossing the room and picking up the whatever. And he's like, don't make a meal of it, dude. Just cross the room and pick up the whatever. Anyway, so in this instance, it was very quick. And I wonder if it was almost like she hadn't realized that the bruise looked that bad herself, and she was just checking it for herself. Yeah.
Talk with you just a little bit more about your legs. I'm a little unclear on what color is the wig that you had? That wig that you were wearing, what color was that? Black. Okay.
I'm having trouble understanding him. I hope he's a little bit louder or clearer.
Was that your wig, or whose wig was that? Just have me play dress up in or something, or what? Okay. Does your mom normally, does she sleep naked, or does she?
No.
Usually, what does she usually wear to bed?
Nightgowns, their sleeveless.
Okay. Was she wearing anything that night that she went to bed?
A blue nightgown.
A blue nightgown? Okay. The droplets of blood in the house. And you said that you were cleaning them up from where in the house?
They went in the hall.
The hallway?
Nick wouldn't let me in my mom's bedroom.
Okay.
So, they went from the hall to the kitchen.
From the hall to the kitchen.
Wait, I want to hear that again. Sorry.
Nightgowns, their sleeveless.
Okay. Was she wearing anything that night that she went to bed?
A blue nightgown.
A blue nightgown? Okay. The droplets of blood in the house. And you said that you were cleaning them up from where in the house?
They went in the hall.
The hallway?
Nick wouldn't let me in my mom's bedroom.
Yeah, so I feel like we're seeing more of that like kind of fawning behavior now, that like little girl, Nick wouldn't let me in the and she does have a high-pitched voice, Gypsy, even now, but this is like a hat on a hat. And also he was so awkward coming in. I wonder if, how much he was like fiddling with that stupid like zipper, if that's like a trapper keeper or something. I wonder if that was an attempt to seem like off the cuff, like, oh, I'm doing this thing and it's casual and whatever, but like, was your mother naked? And asking about very specific forensic evidence that's going to either be confirmed or denied by what they find at the scene.
Okay.
So they went from the hall to the kitchen.
From the hall to the kitchen. Now, are those the blood droplets that you were trying to clean up? Okay. Then the stuff that you were cleaning them up with, you said that it was it in a spray bottle or a glass bottle or something different?
It was in like one of those jugs.
Like a jug? Okay, was it say it had a handle on it or didn't have a handle or something? Had a handle on it? Okay. And what color was it again?
Maroon.
Maroon?
It's in the kitchen. I can tell you where it's at. It's by the back door.
By the back door? Okay. What, did it have any wordings or anything on it, or not have anything wordings on it, or something different?
Bissell, I think it's for pet odor.
Bissell pet odor?
Yeah.
Okay. When you guys left your mom's house, and you said that you had called, you said Yellow Cat.
He called Yellow Cat from his cell phone.
From his cell phone. Okay. Where's his cell phone at right now? Is it at the house here?
I think so. I doubt he was able to take it with him.
Okay. What color was that cell phone? Do you know the brand of it or anything?
No, I'm afraid I don't.
Okay. What color was it? Do you remember?
Black.
Black? Okay. So he called Springfield Yellow Cab. Kind of explain to me that process there. You guys, Yellow Cab obviously shows up. And can you kind of start from there, from the beginning, middle?
And we got into the Yellow Cab, and we told them to go to the hotel. And we went to the hotel. He only paid for his stay. And I was able to just sneak in the room with him.
So explain that to me. How did you sneak in the room? Were you over by Waffle House or something, or and then come into the room?
I just waited right outside.
Like outside,
like the office where you would normally check in.
The motel. Okay.
And I just went in his room.
Okay. Did you guys go anywhere after that?
We went to Waffle House and we tried to eat, but I forgot that I was on it.
Okay.
And I started drinking some chocolate milk.
Do y'all have an idea of what they just bleeped out? I don't know what that could have been.
But then I got sick.
Okay. All right. So you ate at the Waffle House there, right next to the Days Inn. It's in the same parking lot. Okay. Then where did you go after you guys ate?
We went back to the hotel to lay down because I wasn't feeling good. I felt dizzy and my stomach felt bad.
Okay. So you guys laid down. Approximately how long do you think you guys slept?
Probably about 5 hours.
About 5 hours?
Yeah.
Okay. After you slept for 5 hours, then what did you guys do? Did you get up and go anywhere?
We stayed at the hotel the whole time, really.
So you stayed at the hotel for a while, and then how did you wind up? Now we kind of need to know. You stayed at the hotel. What day did you leave the hotel, and how did you get from the hotel to wherever you went to get to here?
We were supposed to take a Greyhound bus. His bus was scheduled for to leave on the 11th at 6:13. But whenever we got all our stuff packed and everything, we tried to go to the Greyhound station, and all the tickets were sold out.
How did you get from the hotel to the Greyhound station?
Taxi. We used the taxi the whole time.
The same one?
Same taxi service, but different driver.
So Springfield Yellow Cab?
Right.
Okay. So you got a cab from the hotel to Greyhound. Did they drop you off and leave? Okay, so you went in there.
We went in there and we were going to purchase my ticket, but unfortunately they were sold out.
Okay.
So they said that they just fixed our tickets for the morning after.
Okay.
And that was at 7:30.
7:30 at night or in the morning?
In the morning.
In the morning. Do you remember what day that was?
On the 12th.
On the 12th. Okay. So your mom died on the 9th. And you had 10th, 11th, and 12th. So we're missing a couple of days in there. What did you guys do for those couple of days?
Stayed at the hotel.
Okay. Did you guys go to Walmart or anything?
He went to Walmart to get us something to drink.
Okay.
And on the last day, he went to Walmart to buy condoms.
Okay. All right. So anywhere else that you guys went together, or was it just him that was leaving out, or something different?
That was it.
Okay, so he was the only one leaving. You were staying at the hotel?
I wasn't staying at the hotel. We both went to Walmart together, but I waited outside.
Okay, so you went to Walmart together, walked up there, rode up there, or what?
We took a cab there, and I waited outside with our luggage because he didn't want our luggage to be by itself.
And then you went from there to the Greyhound bus station?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what were you wearing?
I haven't changed my clothes since then, so this.
Okay, so that's what you were wearing today. And did you have a wig on at that point? Anything else on your face?
No, sir.
Okay.
Most people have no clue that in 2023, the best way to make money on Amazon is not.
Very sad, this like brief honeymoon they had together, where you just get such a sense of how much of children they are, kind of developmentally speaking and everything. They have to take cabs everywhere. They're relying on a Greyhound bus. They're going from the home that Gypsy's mother owned to the home that Nick's parents owned, and I have to check, but both of them were in their early 20s, which, a lot of people, by 22, I was paying rent and living on my own in New York City, but I guess a lot of people can still be living at home and stuff like that, but at least have a car, or it just is a really good reflection of how much in Arrested Development isn't, well, yeah, maybe it is Arrested Development. Yeah, and it's just very sad because I can tell based on Gypsy's recounting of it that I'm sure there were many moments of it that were very pleasurable, but it was marked by this awful reality of this crime that they had just committed. And like she was saying about having to come back to the hotel room because she was feeling sick, her subconscious is continually ruminating on this and trying to process it as she's having this, whirlwind kind of. And I think, most adults here have probably had some kind of, lock yourself away in a hotel room or room for a few days kind of thing. And it's just really awfully tragic that the circumstances surrounding it.
I'm wearing the same shoes, same everything.
Okay. All right.
I even told him that my thoughts of life with him would be a bit different, and this is not how I wanted it to be. And he has a way about him that he can make you feel comfortable in any situation. And I never felt like I was in any danger when I got to Wisconsin, because I know that he loves me and he would do anything for me and to be with me. But I know that there's this, he called it his evil side. He needs to get rid of that side, because that's no way to live. You live a righteous life. You live a good life. He even made me leave behind my cross, because he believes his own religion, I guess.
Okay. When you guys went to the Greyhound bus station, take us for about an hour.
So you see how she was taking that narrative in a very specific way of this controlling, evil, kind of disassociated identity guy who's not even letting her practice her religion and all of this stuff. And he's like, okay, back to the facts, and not the narrative, but the actual events that occurred. But I do believe that y'all know how it is. If you've ever been in a long distance relationship, or even just a relationship where you don't see, you're local, but you don't see each other a lot, once you have time together where you're spending more concentrated amounts of time together, there can be a bit of falling from grace where you're like, this was my fantasy of this person, and now this is the reality. And imagine having to negotiate that along with being accomplices in this horrific crime. And it seems to me that Gypsy has and had super complicated feelings about it, but Nick was able to compartmentalize it in a way that, I slayed the evil dragon and rescued my princess. I did what I needed to do in order to rescue the love of my life. And from what I hear, it sounds like he still stands by that. Yeah.
Did you guys go from there? Did you guys stay the night somewhere?
After they couldn't get me on the bus, we went back to the hotel, stayed another night at the hotel.
And what day was that?
The 11th. We were supposed to leave on the 11th, but bus, I couldn't get on it, so we stayed another night.
So you stayed the 11th?
Mm-hmm.
And into the 12th? Was that safe to say?
No, we were traveling on the 12th, so
traveling on the 12th?
We got on the Greyhound bus at 7 o'clock.
On the 12th?
On the 12th in the morning. And we were on a Greyhound bus from Springfield to St. Louis to Chicago, then Chicago to Milwaukee, and then his mom came pick us up late at night. I think it was at 2 a.m.
Off of the Greyhound bus?
Off of the Greyhound bus. So she met us at the Milwaukee bus station at around 2 a.m. On, I guess, technically the 13th.
Okay. All right, give me just a few more minutes, okay? Be right with you, okay?
I feel like something happened when he got the data about the mom being the one waiting for them at the bus station. It felt like at that point he felt mobilized that he needed to do something, maybe call the mom in if she hadn't already been called in, or check with her about something, because maybe at this point he's wondering if the mother was privy in any way to knowledge about this crime, or even like assisting Nick in disposing of evidence, or whatever the case. Yeah, I can't help, every time I think of tragic cases like this, I always think of like what I call an alternate timeline. And as I listen to Gypsy describing their journey and everything, I'm like, man, why couldn't, I know why. It's because she was abused to the point where I truly believe that she thought this was her only option. I think she was so afraid of her mother that it wasn't even safe enough for her mother to still be alive, existing on this earth, because she would get drawn back in. Gypsy would get imprisoned again. But as I was listening to her describe their journey and everything, I was thinking, like, I wish she would have run away. And Gypsy was well old enough at that point that her mother would have no legal rights over her. Like, Gypsy would not be forced to live with her, unless there's like I don't know if a power of attorney would accomplish like those kinds of rights or something. I don't think so. I think it would have to be some kind of like Britney Spears situation, right? Where, I can't even remember the term for it legally, but yeah. And like the Chris Watts case, like I wish he would have just run away with Nicole, sure, it would have been tragic for Shanann, and Shanann would have had to go on to deliver that little baby boy with her husband having abandoned her, but everyone would still be alive today. And who knows, maybe Chris would have come back and they would have been like, let's do this the right way and fully dissolve this. And Shanann would have like definitely fallen in love with someone else who was like much better to her, because she was a catch. And yeah, so I always think about that. Like, I always think like in some universe somewhere, there's a timeline where Gypsy and Nick just ran away. And I doubt their relationship would have lasted anyway. But Nick wouldn't be in prison. Dee Dee would still be alive. Gypsy would have gotten her freedom way sooner. Yeah. This looks sped up.
Okay. Sometimes I gotta step out, clear my head, think, make sure there's not any other questions I have for you. But, did the cab come to the house? Did he call the cab to the house? Okay. Did the cab pull up in front of the house, or did you guys have to walk and go get to it, or something different?
It pulled in the driveway.
Pulled in the driveway of your mom's house?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You said you guys met on a website?
Yeah, on a, it was called ChristianDatingForFree.com.
ChristianDatingForFree.com.
Not a good ad for it.
And did you make a profile on there, and he had a profile on there, or?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's how you guys met?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And we just stayed in touch. And we ended up, I told him that my mom was a bit protective and she's a bit hard to, please, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted him to make a good impression on her.
Sure.
So I sent him some formal clothes, like a nice shirt like that and a nice
Sure.
pants.
Right.
And so they can meet up so he can at least make a good impression. So, and I guess my mom just saw right through all the falseness and everything, and she's like, he's dangerous.
Okay.
You see her planting suggestions about Nick vis-a-vis her mom. And I'm sure they're real, but, think about it in terms of she could say anything in the world right now, and this is what she chooses to say.
So there's something else I had to ask you. And you don't know what happened to the knife? Did he have it in his hand whenever he opened up the bathroom door?
Yes, sir.
He did have it in his hand?
He had it in his hand, and he didn't want me to look. And, but he wanted me to clean up his blood from his cut.
Okay.
So, I was able to clean him up. And, I put a Band-Aid on his finger.
Okay. Have you seen the Facebook posts that were out there? That was on Gypsy.
Yes, sir.
Okay, who put those posts out there? You know the one I'm specifically talking about. The very first post. What did that post say?
Something really bad.
Okay, what was so bad? What was said?
I put it on there because I wanted someone to find my mom.
Okay. What did you put? What did you type on there?
I put what he had said to me, and
Okay.
he was happy about it.
Which was what?
That bitch is dead.
That bitch is dead? Is that what you just told me? Okay. So you put on your Facebook account, that bitch is dead. Okay.
I wanted someone to know that something was wrong. And I knew that my friends would all worry if that's not the way me and my mom talk.
Okay.
So, I was like, if I put that on there, they'll know something's wrong.
Okay. Where did you do that from?
From his house.
Okay. On a phone, a computer, a laptop, or what?
On, he has a computer, but, my little, I guess you could say phone, but usually I just use it to get Wi-Fi and play video games or something on.
So that's the phone that you typed that on?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And he knew about it, and I asked him if I could have permission to please, I need them to find my mom, and so she could have a proper burial.
Okay.
And I knew that it would get people's attention because we don't ever curse. And like, at first people were like, "Oh, they must be watching a movie," and like, no, this is serious. Please, someone call the police.
Where's that phone at now that you typed that stuff on?
It's in my back.
In my opinion, I mean, this part is very manipulative. Again, I think there's shreds of truth in it. I think that Gypsy might have been concerned about how long Dee Dee was left in that state there, and thinking about animals getting to her, or, you know, like awful stuff, decomposition and stuff. I'm sure that made her uncomfortable. But the fact that Gypsy posted it from her own phone, and it wasn't Nick Godejean's computer, phone, anything like that, and that she's still pushing so hard that it was like, you know, this completely benevolent gesture, and that she had to kind of beg Nick for permission to do it. And it totally belies the aggression in the act itself. Because that's not the only way that you could have someone concerned. You don't have to pretend to be a hacker or somebody who just murdered her mom and types on the computer a status update under Gypsy's profile. Like, but again, we're obviously not dealing with the savviest criminals here, right? I just think that's quite manipulative.
In your backpack? Where's your backpack at? At the house.
In Big Bend.
In Big Bend. Okay. There was another post. There was something else that was put on there.
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
My mom got slashed and he raped me.
Okay.
And I know there was another one that says the girl is dead too. He said to post that so they wouldn't come looking for me.
And who posted that?
Me.
You did that? Okay. On your own free will?
No.
You were told to put that on there?
Yes.
Now you said that first one.
The first one, I wanted to put on that one because I wanted someone to find my mom and know that something was wrong.
Okay. So what is it safe to say that you put that on your own free will, that first one, but not the other ones? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, I would never ever call my mom that, but yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Any other things that were posted on your Facebook?
That's about it.
That's about it? Okay.
I would like to ask some questions
Okay.
that I have.
Okay.
One, what is going to happen to me?
Okay.
And two, am I going to be sent back to Missouri? Can I get my luggage with money and my social security cards, my insurance card,
Okay.
and things like this?
Okay. The first question, I have no power or control over that because I'm not that person. I don't have that power and authority. Okay.
He's not the judge.
That's still to be decided.
Or the jury.
Okay. But I don't have that control, and I don't want to make any promises that I can't keep. Okay. As far as your personal property belongings and stuff, right now all that is part of an investigation. Okay. So it'll probably be retained for a period of time. Okay. All right. Okay.
The way she asked that question, the second one, first of all, if y'all have seen JCS's Jennifer something or other, it's that young Asian woman who murdered or had her parents murdered. I forget if it was a boyfriend or a friend. One of the first questions after the confession was that same exact thing, like, what's going to happen to me? Which doesn't look good. Like, you know, Gypsy has all these mitigating factors of Munchausen by proxy. I forget how that goes. It's like her mother was experiencing Munchausen by proxy, so Gypsy was a victim of Munchausen by proxy. I need to look that up. But anyway, the second question, where she's talking about the logistics of where her stuff is and how to get it, makes me think that A, she's fishing for specifically, like, am I going to jail or not? But B, it kind of sounds like she thinks that she's not even going to be held in jail. It's just a matter of, or I don't know, maybe she's like, if I'm going to prison, I want to make sure that my belongings, maybe there's something of sentimental value for her paperwork and stuff, that it's secured somewhere. I don't know. It's hard to imagine that in this moment, in this situation right here, right now, that she cares about her social security card. So I think it was just another way of asking the same thing, which is what's going to happen to me.
Just a little bit more time, okay?
Isolation is one of the most effective forms of punishment for a human, which is why I think there's limits on how long prisoners can be in solitary. And I don't think there's any accident around people being left in the interrogation room for as long as they are, and the timing of it. It's got to be absolute hell on earth. Which doesn't undermine the hell on earth that Dee Dee and other victims experience. Sorry, talked over her.
Do me a favor, stand up for me, okay? We'll take some photos of your.
I couldn't make out what she said. If she said mommy or I'm coming or and then it kind of stopped abruptly, but I think it could still be very authentic. It's just a matter of when you're in fight or flight and you've got all these various things competing for your brain is trying to keep you safe from all of these real threats around you. I can imagine that you could have a genuine display of emotion that's just completely cut short by a surge of adrenaline, and it's like, oh fuck, he's coming in, and now I'm having my mugshot taken. This is real.
Nothing else happened in this state that we know other crimes or you guys didn't do anything? Okay, I just want to make sure. All right, go ahead and stand up for me. Okay, I'll get a few close-ups, okay? Because you've got all those things on your neck there. Can you kind of pull your shirt down just a little bit? Not up, but right there on the collar. There you go, just like that. Thank you. Okay. Left arm like this for me, okay? Is this from the hospital when you were in the hospital there? Okay. Roll up your sleeve just a little bit for me. Hold out your hands just like this together, just like that. Yep, there you go. Okay, hold your hands over. Come together for me. There you go, just like that. Okay. Do you have any other bruises anywhere? I don't want you to show any of your, don't show me any of your body parts, okay? How did you get that?
He made me shave my legs and kneel on the ground and clean up the blood. So I think I got carpet burn.
Say it's carpet burn. from just crawling around on the carpet when you were cleaning up the blood. Okay. Anything else anywhere else? Okay. All right. You can cover it back up to that blanket if you want.
I feel like at this point, his mask is also down. Like the whole nice guy, good cop thing, you know, kind of like fathering her that he did early on in this investigation's gone. He's like, all right, let me see this and that. And he's somewhat kind and gentle about it, but that act he was playing is gone. It's crazy to think that the first time this young woman experienced bodily autonomy was prison. And obviously, she doesn't have full bodily autonomy there, but she has, she doesn't have someone forcing medical procedures and medicine on her every day. Just more stewing and isolation.
Because the deputy's there when she's gonna take you to the bathroom.
Hey.
Please have a seat. Thanks.
I feel like just that little bit of going out of the room seemed to make her feel a little better. And now she can actually like kind of rest or try to.
You doing all right, dude? Okay.
Sorry, I don't see a marker or anything for how long these things actually are. At least she has a couch though and a blanket. Nick was just seated at a table. Seems like in a smaller room than this, but
Hey, Gypsy. Sorry to have to wake you up. Talk to your boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole lot of stuff you're leaving out, girl.
Like what?
Well, I'm not going to get into it with you, okay? You're leaving a lot of stuff out that you need to probably tell me. Do you want to talk to me about it? Tell me about it?
Sure, I'll tell you.
Okay.
I'll tell you.
You planned this with him, okay? You didn't get locked in the bathroom, okay? I'm not stupid. First of all, the lock's on this side, so you can't get locked in there. Okay, you went in there because
we mentioned that way back. That whole reenactment thing she did was so awkward. It was, yeah.
you brought that knife into the picture. You brought the idea into the picture.
I didn't bring the idea.
You did bring it into. You brought the whole thing in the idea,
No.
and he did it for you.
No.
Yeah,
No.
he did. Okay, so the lies, they're done. I'm not gonna sit in here all night long.
No, I
This
won't
with
give you. I won't give you any life. I did not think of this. I know that he has a evil side, and he did want to do it.
Okay, I understand that. I understand that.
He wanted to get rid of my mom.
Yeah, for you.
Yes, for me.
Yeah, because you asked him to.
He wanted to.
Yeah, because you asked him to. Plain and simple.
We.
Gypsy, we're not playing this game, okay?
Yeah, because the detective isn't saying, Gypsy, you forced him to. Like, they're in agreement that that Nick did it of his own will and volition. The point that the detective is driving home right here, which is true, which is what enrages me about Nick Godejohn having no possibility of parole and dying in jail, spending the rest of his life there, is that Gypsy was the mastermind of it, meaning she was the one who came up with it. She was the one who said, no, it has to be this way. She was the one who supplied the weapon. She was the one who had the money, I believe. She funded his trip there, and then their hotel stay, or maybe they split the money at that point. But I mean, that's when you're the one that's coming up with the plan, you know, like if someone hires a hitman, usually the person who was the mastermind behind it gets more time, or at least equal time, to the person who actually committed the crime.
You asked him to. That's why he did it. Okay? Plain and simple. We're not playing this game. I'm not going to spend all my night long listening to your lies anymore. You told me the truth on some things, but you left a lot of stuff out. You left a lot of stuff out. So we're not playing this game, okay? He's already told me everything. Everything.
We're both trying.
The knife was mailed. You guys mailed it here, okay? We know where the knife's at. So the gig's up. You're done. It's up. You're done. You're done. You hated your mom?
I did not hate my mom. I did not hate my mom. I loved my mom, and
You would have never done this to your mom.
He needs to tell you that I honestly, and he did not hate my mom. I did not hate my mom. I loved my mom, and
You would have never done this to your mom.
He needs to tell you that I honestly have been having.
I think he meant to finish that and say, you wouldn't have ever done this to your mom if you didn't hate her. But he said, you wouldn't have ever done this to your mom. And that is very true, that Gypsy needed somebody else to do the bidding, her bidding, to get rid of her mom.
Or when I didn't want to do it, and he said that he would commit suicide if we didn't.
Yeah.
Did he tell you that?
Yep. Yep.
I said that it was a bad thought that I was thinking, and
The jig
I
is
don't
up.
think that we should be doing this.
A lot of people think about stuff, but when you act, that's when you cross the line. And that's what you've done. You acted upon it, and he acted upon it. So, okay? We're done. You're obviously going to keep telling me lies.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Now you're going to be booked in for, later on down the line, you're going to be booked in for probably murder, okay? As long as, and with him as well, okay? All right?
I didn't murder my mom, sir.
Listen to me.
Sir,
Listen
I
to me.
didn't.
You did, because you're behind it. You pulled all the strings on it,
I did.
and you're behind it. I'm not, listen, Gypsy, I'm not going to sit and argue with you about it, okay?
All I wanted was
So-
come and get me.
No, that's not all you wanted. There's a lot more to this whole story that you're leaving out. I'm not going to play the sympathetic game. I'm not like that, okay? I can see right through it, okay?
Please, I'm not able to be in jail. I have a lot of medical
I
needs.
understand that.
You hear how her voice is a lot lower than it was, particularly at the very, very beginning of the interrogation. Like, this sounds a lot closer to how she speaks now. And what he said to her, I'm not playing this sympathetic game with you. You were the one who pulled the strings, yada, yada, yada. That is exactly right. That's exactly the case, I think. It's this entire crime never would have happened if it weren't for Gypsy wanting her mother killed. Never, none of it would have happened. And that's not saying there aren't mitigating factors, right? Like, everybody's very quick to rush to her defense, and I understand that. But at the end of the day, Nick didn't up and decide, oh, you know what, I'm so, and there are cases like that where it's like, I feel like we hear about it often, where it's like an abused woman a woman who's being abused by a boyfriend or a spouse, and there's another spouse who has this like hero complex, like this white knight that like swoops in, kills him, and you know, he's okay with the consequences as long as his princess is free. And the fact of the matter is, if it weren't for Gypsy wanting her mother dead, her mother would not be dead. I don't believe Nick, of his own volition, of his own design, would have gone down this road. So it's right of the detective to call her out on her bullshit. And I wish we were talking about this a little bit more now, not in a, retribution kind of way with Gypsy. Like, I think it's great that people are celebrating her freedom. She deserves it. I truly believe that. But I do wish that Gypsy was using her freedom as a bit of a platform to say, look, this was my idea. I was a badly abused person. I wasn't acting in my right mind, but this man doesn't deserve to be locked up for the rest of his life.
And they'll get taken care of, okay? So, sit tight.
Sorry, I know I'm gonna get like trolls being like, just shut up, let it play, whatever. If you want to watch it like without my commentary, there's millions of channels. Like, literally help yourself. Anyway, sorry, now I'm forgetting what I was gonna say. Never let the haters win. I lost it, sorry. I remembered. Sorry. Okay. I'm also not advocating for Nick Godejohn to be like walking the streets, right? I think that there's some kind of something, a life sentence, like 40 years. I don't know when he was initially incarcerated, but something like that. A lot of supervision, a lot of help, a lot of therapy, because it does sound like he has his demons. And I do truly believe that he has a sadistic streak inside of him, but I think it's different from your regular sadist. I don't think it comes from a desire to, from deriving true pleasure from seeing someone in pain. I think it comes from some like skewed fantasy thing, some idea he has of masculinity or dominance, and also an outlet for him to channel his aggression and cope with feelings of powerlessness for, living in a world where you have a low IQ and you're on the spectrum. That's not the most empowered experience. Okay, I'll try to shut up now. Oh, man.
Please, I need a lawyer.
Great, have a seat.
Oh. Y'all, my heart breaks for these two. Like, it's so freaking sad. Oh my God. Like, they're such children, like, through no fault of their own, and they're so misguided in what they did, and like, they had no freaking shot, Sorry, what?
I did not.
Yeah, so she's playing this conversation in her head. She's still reliving the conversation that just occurred with the detective all the while later. I don't know what she just like took out and put into her pockets. If she has like contacts or something, or I don't know. Oh, y'all. the fact that this full thing happened, and then after, now, only now is she like, I want to speak to a lawyer. I mean, whatever, it was enough. It was adequate enough for her to make a deal and be able to get a 10-year sentence, and she got out in 8, I believe. But God, it just breaks my heart. Like, there's this saying that I heard before where it's something like, where every person's current circumstance makes sense based on everything they've lived through. Meaning, like, if you got someone's entire backstory, all the trauma that they'd lived through, all the like horrific things and circumstances that they grew up in and all of that, that their current circumstances would make a lot of sense to you. And that is so, so true for both Gypsy and Nick. And it just breaks my heart because it feels like we failed them somehow, you know? It feels like they were really failed by society, you know? All the doctors, the friends and family members, and not to guilt people, but I'm just saying, like, you know, Gypsy was imprisoned and tortured in a way for her entire life up until this point. And Nick, with his limited capacity, intellectual capacity, I truly believe was trying to rescue her from that unimaginable torture. And now they're just like 2 kids bumbling around in an interrogation room and not knowing better to ask for a lawyer and not speak. And it's really freaking depressing, man. Yeah, she regrets talking to this guy. Man.
Someone help.
Yeah.
Help me.
And imagine you did so much to get to this point to like free yourself. And now the same thing is happening again. It's like there's this tarot card, I think it's the 9 of Swords, that this tarot guy that I really like calls it, like, it's the never-ending nightmare. And it's like the worst card in the tarot, because can you think of a worse thing than like a nightmare that is ongoing and it never ends? Like, that's this moment.
Right with you, okay? Okay, he actually stepped out right now. So if you just want to hold that, and when he comes back, be able to, okay?
I mean, She's like truly orphaned. I guess she doesn't know that there's a camera in this room, or she's just that freaking desperate to get some kind of read on the situation.
What we're going to do is we're going to end up moving you from this room here. And for the night, we're going to put you up in a spot up in the jail. But it'll be probably about another 5 minutes, and then I'll walk you up there, okay? So yeah, come on, put your boots on, stay comfortable for a couple minutes, and I'll get you up there.
Thank you to this officer for just being gentle. If you think about it, this girl, up until this point in her life, has spent her entire life fighting for her freedom. It's just unimaginable. I feel very protective of her, and I think a lot of people do, and I think that's part of the reason why she is being flooded with support right now. I just pray to God that she's getting enough real help, and that she doesn't continue to be exploited by the media, because she has been her entire life, right? Like, she knows that very well, how to like sing for her supper, so to speak.
All right, we are ready to head up. What we're going to do is we're going to kind of be in the jail facility. We're going to wait there for a while, and investigators will probably talk to you again in the morning, but at least this gives you an opportunity to probably get something to eat and get some regular sleep, okay? So, yeah, if you want to step out, by policy, we're going to have to put some handcuffs on you.
Oh.
Okay, just turn face away and put your hands behind your back.
And I'm assuming, has she been searched?
Yes.
Yeah. You got some tiny little roots here, so I'm just going to make sure that.
What's that? Nick's still in the, yeah, he's still in the building. Well, we're not giving any messages. Okay.
Thank you to 8MC for letting me use this footage. I mean, they didn't give me permission, but, you know, thanks for having this footage. All right, y'all, that's where we end it. She asked if Nick was still there and if she could relay a message to him, and I wonder what she would have said. I wonder if it would have been like vengeful and angry because the detective made it seem like Nick was just spilling the beans and ready to throw Gypsy under the bus, which we've watched, I think, most of the Nick Godejohn interrogation at this point. I'll finish it up next week. And it's certainly not the case so far. He's very much in defense of her and owning up to what he did and wanting to protect her and proclaiming his love and devotion to her. Seeing this makes me think, I'm so glad that Gypsy's free now. Seeing her absolutely terrified, like, you know, like a cornered animal, fighting for her life, getting down on the ground, listening to what they're saying, begging for a lawyer after the detective got every single thing he wanted out of her. That's the thing, man. That is what I pray does not happen. Like, I hope Gypsy finds a route that's like more of like a TED Talk kind of a career, you know, where she's not so much on social media with the back and forth, and she can have a more curated presentation of her image, and have, you know, podcast appearances and TEDx appearances and things that are more worthy of her, and not like, you know, smut kind of like hot gossip stuff. But it's a two-way street. Like, I saw someone characterize it as like, yes, queen, you're out of it. I forget the creator's name. I think Caitlin or something. Hilarious, this actress who was impersonating a lot of these interviewers that are like, yes, queen, we love a free Gypsy Rose moment. And like, how are you thinking about this and that and that? Like, it's all so cringe and it's also tone deaf. And I wish in her advocacy for people who are in a similar position now that she was in, I wish that she would also add some advocacy, even if it's behind closed doors, for Nick. So I hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.